So I don't know if this is Bondo or what it is, but it is thick. I think that the previous owners tried covering up some holes, some other stuff with this stuff, because it's, I don't know, because this fender matched the bumper, but the bumper was not the same paint job as everything else on this fender. So I think that there was damage on this fender that they tried covering up, especially with how much rust there is. And they just didn't do a good job. So I'm trying to sand it all down so I can bang the dent out properly and have the body line actually work. It's taking a long time, you know? But I'm getting there. So I'm pretty bad with documenting the whole thing of what I'm doing, but I'm sanding the front end of this one, which means dust is getting on this one, which sucks because I just washed this one, and by just washed it I mean like today's Thursday, 4 days ago, but I did wax it, so dust just comes right off. But I'm not gonna show what I'm doing. Just know that I'm doing a 60 to 120 to 220 to maybe 600 grit sanding. I might skip out on the 600, but I'm gonna end off on 220 100%. Excuse me. And I'm using Rust-Oleum gray primer to prime the whole body when I get done with the part that I'm doing. So I'm trying to do it front to back as a whole thing. So I am done with like half a can right now. And why are you staring at me? I like your car though. Lexus CT200 hybrid. I like it. Always wanted one. Right now, I am currently trying to sand down the front fender because it is really badly rusted, and I'm trying to get rid of the rust damage so I can, the surface rust, so I can then bang out the dents and then primer it so I can have straight body lines and have zero issues. But if there is still dents, it's pretty okay as long as they're not as bad as they are now. I want it to look at least better. This build I think is gonna end up being an OEM Plus rather than a Canyon or a Drag or whatever I said previously. But that's just for the time now because I'm really stressing out about school. I need to find a job because life's expensive and I can't just be a full-time student. I'm trying to find a job. I'm focusing on school, but I'm trying to find a job, and I'm trying to fix this car up so that it can be my daily driver for next semester. Because, don't get me wrong, I love the Mazda, but it's kind of worn out the, like, excitement, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, it's fast, but it's just not exciting anymore, you know? This car, not fast at all, like, no offense to it, it's just not fast, but it has this excitement to it because it's like, it has pop-ups. I don't see these around. If you go down my street, there's a red Mazda 3 sedan Gen 1, there's a Gen 2 hatchback, there is another Gen 1 hatchback, there's the black one is the Gen 2, there's the white one is the Gen 1 hatch, and then there's like 2 or 3 Gen 3s, or no, the most recent generation of them. One of my good friends has the most recent generation of Mazda 3. It's just, they're so common. Here, anyways, you don't see these. And I think there's a good reason for it. It's small, it's pretty slow, and it's old. It's 92. It's 30 years old now. And it does show in the body damage, the rust, and just overall how cracking everything is. But I want to fix it and make it look as good as I can, because I'm happy right now. I'm at a stage where life isn't the best, but it's moving up. Hopefully my crypto and investments move up as well, but for the time being, they're not. Let me just show you. I put a smiley face. Yeah, I didn't put paper over my windows when I started sanding, but it's pretty bad. But you know, that's okay. I can clean this stuff up pretty easy. It's not that bad. That's just dust, man. So I wasn't gonna show you, like, the video, how far I've done, but now that I'm looking at it, I think I should, because, oh my god, with the amount of just Bondo that was, or whatever body filler they used to fill in the, like, fender, I think I've inhaled a lot of paint dust. They just slapped it on it. They didn't even remove the rust properly, because I'm finding rust upon rust underneath it, and it's heartbreaking, because it's just like, if you do a job, do it right the first time around. Don't go in for a second time, because if you have to do it a second time, then you didn't do it right. Which, I'm trying to make this car be a one-time thing, not like the Mazda, where the Mazda, I should have done better, but I was learning. I still am, mostly because I've never done body work. I'm dealing with body work and electrical work, stuff that I have no previous experience, no past history, nothing. I've never done body work. I've never painted a car. I've never dealt with electrical stuff, because it's just nothing that I've done. Which is why, like, this is very, like, for me, this is what matters a lot, because if I can do this right the first time, this is my resume. This is my work. Which, I'm actually going to show you the parts that I actually have done. So, the parts that I have done, aside from removing the rust, there's a lot of dust. Removing the paint and some rust here. I've done it on the pop-ups and the front bumper. And I've removed the rust. Not the rust. I've removed the paint and primer from the front. Which actually, the hood does not have that much primer on it, I realize. It's like a layer thick. Compared to here, which is several layers thick, because they Bondoed it. Ow, that noise. Really creepy. Excuse me. When I do this one, I'm going to check, because there's nothing on this one. And also, I don't know why, but every Celica I've seen does not have this. So I think this one's just really scuffed up. But I think the VINs match. I'll check sometime, but if they do, I'm keeping it, because, like, I'm fixing that, obviously. But I'm keeping it rather than buying a new fender for both sides, because I like to keep my VINs matching. I don't know. This one, that one, do not match. This one's white, that one's black. This, excuse me, I'll go into this another day, but this pisses me off, excuse me. But I have done the pop-ups. This one is the left one, so it's drying right now. That one's dried. This one's already dried, and I have a license plate relocation kit already on this one. But I'm keeping this off because, as you know, when you're sanding, you don't have complete control over where you are sanding. There's a lot of rust on this one, oh my god. Well, you don't have complete control over where you're sanding, so I'm going to keep it off until I put it on, which is why when this is done, I'm keeping it off until I finish this and this. I should do this one soon, and the rear bumper. I still need to figure out the freaking lighting situation, which I have a white mustache now. I should probably get a respirator if I'm gonna keep doing this in the garage. But my hair. Which I'm only doing it in the garage because it's gonna be raining pretty soon, which is weird because it's California, but I'm trying to get as much as I can on primer before next week, which I think I'm gonna stop with this fender and the hood, because I think that's what I can do in like 2-3 days. Because painting a car in a garage, I did not plan to take like a weekend. I planned this to take at least 2 weeks, like at minimum. But my estimation currently, in terms of how much time it's going to be, is about like a month and a half, which is decent timing because that's when finals are for me, so it'll be 2 months because I'm going to focus on finals when they come up. Excuse me. But this car is coming together. Slowly but surely, you know? Slowly but surely.